Okay, so today actually we are going to be looking at motives for European scramble for Africa. So we're going to look at political reasons, social reasons, economic and technological reasons. So remember, if you are new to my YouTube channel, make sure that you subscribe. Look below, you see the red button, hit that red button, hit the notification bell so that when I produce the next class tomorrow, you'll be informed when the class will be ready. In this channel, we are studying history, geography, economics, and many other subjects and everything that concerns students. We are also showing students how they can make money online and how they can succeed in their lives. So we have a lot in this channel. So today, class, we are going to be talking about what were the motives for the European scramble for Africa. So we are going to describe all of this. We are going to explain all of this in this class. So, without wasting of time, let's dive right into it. So, we're going to start with causes for scramble. So, what is the causes? We're going to say that during the late 18th and 19th centuries, significant changes occurred that paved the way for the scramble for Africa. The causes of this scramble, which began in earnest in the late 19th century, can be attributed to a combination of economic, political, and technological factors, and that had developed during that period. So this is because of all this tension of political, technological, economic, and social factors that Europeans they had to scramble because they need more territories. They had to do with power. It has to do with who is bigger, who is a greater. So they had to go out to look for territories and to be able to colonize. Now we are going to start with with the political factors of colonization or the political factors for the scramble of Africa. What are the political factors? In the late 19th century, the political landscape of Europe was marked by rising nationalist feelings and fierce competition among the leading nations. So, because of all these nationalists that were rising in Europe and there were competition, and that prompted the scramble for Africa. Empire building was tied to a country's reputation with control of more territory seen as increasing its standing internationally. So the more territory a European country controls, the more it dictates or shows the power that he has. So the more territory you control, it shows how more powerful you are, right? So and it helps to it push out your reputation as the most good and most stronger country. Okay. Now the next one, it says the push for African territories was driven not only by economic interest but also by a quest for dominance and strategic benefits. So people had to show that they can dominate. There were also some strategic benefits. For example, if you occupied a sea site of a country, you can control the trade. So all that contribute to the scramble for Africa. European colonization in Africa enabled the establishment of military outposts, the protection of trade routes, and the exertion of influence over extensive lands. So actually, they needed trade routes and extensive lands, just as I've said. So that is the political reasons for the scramble of Africa. Now, what are the economic reasons? The Industrial Revolution was the primary economic impetus behind the scramble. So the Industrial Revolution was one of the main reasons why European countries went for the scramble or scramble for Africa. Because Industrial Revolution means that they need workers to be able to allow the machinery to work. Okay. Now it says this period of rapid industrialization and economic transformation in Europe generated a massive demand for raw materials such as rubber, cotton, palm oil, cocoa, diamonds, and gold, which Africa had in abundance. So, because of this industrialization that was growing rapidly, remember, industrialization started in Britain, right? So, it was spreading rightly all over Europe. So, they needed all these things for for their industries. They needed rubbers, they needed cotton, they needed palm oil, they needed cocoa. So because of this, they came to scramble for Africa because Africa had all of this, but Europe did not have any of this. Furthermore, the rapid growth in Europeans' reputation and industrial output created a need for new markets where European goods could be sold. So there was no need to have all this industrial capability with a lot of goods, but you don't have where to sell them. You don't have where to sell your goods or show your goods. So that was one of the economic reasons for the scramble for Africa. Africa, with its large population and untamed market, presented a tantalizing opportunity for European commercial interest. So Africa actually had a very large market. So they had to scramble for it so that they might benefit from that market. Now we are going to look at the technological factors. What are the technological factors of the European scramble for Africa? The European conquest of Africa was significantly aided by technological advancements. The introduction of advanced weaponry, particularly the Maxim gun, provided the Europeans with superior military edge over African states that were still using traditional weapons. So the Europeans actually, you know that the Europeans, when you consider the 16th and the 17th century, did not actually had guns. They were also fighting just like Africans, maybe with machete, maybe with spear, maybe with cutlass. But during this period, they had grown and were able to have what they call the Maxim gun, or the powder gun. So this gun particularly was a very sure way to fight war. You can easily win because you just shoot in the distance. Okay, but before then there was nothing like that. So it could have been very difficult for Europeans to colonize Africa if they had just the same weapons, let's say like machete, like spears, and the like. But the Maxim gun or the powder gun gave them a greater advantage, right, for the scramble. So that is why they came. So progress in navigation and transportation, such as steamships and railways, enabled deeper exploration of the African continent and more effective utilization of its resources. So because of the power or the most advanced way of transport, they were able to go deeper into the African continent, even discover what the Africans themselves never knew that they had. Now let's go to the next. It says medical breakthrough, like the development of quinine as a remedy for malaria, made the harsh African climate more tolerable for European inventors. So they were able to find some medicines that can cure sicknesses like malaria. That was a very big challenge to them. So they had to get the solution for that. So it was a technological advancement that prompted the scramble, because not only they know that they cannot die of malaria, but they were able to treat it good. Now we are going to look at the last factor for the scramble of Africa. Why the European scramble of Africa? We are going to look at the social factors. What are the social factors? Another social reason for the scramble of or and partition of Africa is that the Europeans wanted to extend Western civilization. So they wanted to extend their civilization. They don't want to imagine that you are having a music, for example, and no one knows about it. So you want other people to know that this is who you are. So they had to extend their civilization. They had to extend their culture. Right? They brought their dressing. Africans had their way to dress, but they brought their own dressing, the suits, and all the like. So they brought their culture, they brought their civilization, they brought education to Africa. They brought their way to see things, their way of life, the way Africans should see things. So they brought their education actually, but Africans had their own education. Never make any mistake. It is not like Africans were not educated, they had their own education, but Europeans wanted to extend their social influence by bringing their own education where we can study them and become like them. The Europeans considered the Africans as backward and illiterate and saw it as their responsibility to educate and civilize these backward people. So that is actually the social factors of the scramble for Africa. So that is our class for today. Tomorrow we are going to continue with our classes, and today we have seen the scramble for Africa. So tomorrow we are going to continue. So thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like the video. You can also share with your friends, students, so that they might benefit from it. So thank you.